Hello to the World Wide Web. It's me, Rachel LaForce, your favorite spiritual comedian and tired mother of two. Okay, I wanted to do just a quick card pull. If you are new agey or spiritual or just person who is into spirituality at all, you'll know that we are experiencing the Lion's Gate that's happening right now. I'm always like, listen, even if like you're totally into it or not, I think it's always a great opportunity. I feel that way about all like even religious holidays where I'm like, any time to reflect, take a moment, take a beat, I think is super helpful, or I don't know, maybe you have it all figured out, but if so, then send me your podcast because I will listen. Okay. So I wanted just to pull just one of these cards for you here, nice, quick, and dirty. This is the Wild Unknown, and this is her deck that is all about archetypes. It is dense, it is heavy. I very, very rarely pull a card from this deck because I feel like it is just so this woman is a witch, like there's always like, I'm a witch, and I'm like, no, you just like you like wet seal, um some of you know that, and some of you are so young, you're like, what? Okay, let's pull this. So I'm going to take just a beat here. So if it goes quiet, that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to pull us a card here real quick. Okay. And you can kind of go ahead and say a prayer for yourself if that's something that's interesting to you. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. I ended up pulling two. There's two kind of right stuck together. So this is interesting. One, I have received this card before, and this is the Mentor. The Mentor. Let's see if I can find it. And the other is the Thanosis. This is like a really intricate. It's the cool thing about her work. Kim Kranz is her name. It's all like super, super artistic and really interesting. So I love to just look at it from kind of all points of view, but that's what she offers up. So the Mentor card looks like this. It's got this big, almost like owl with the wings. Nice. It's very Harry Potter if you subscribe. And just this idea of fire in the night sky. So really this idea of like being guided to kind of light yourself up. And it's also protecting it. Notice that it's like this fire and this idea that you are being protected. So you could look at this in one way of that the fire and what it is that's in you that's wanting to come forth is divinely protected. And it's this idea of, and I also love that there's all these other stars around too. So it's this idea of like, you're not alone. This is not a thing that you're going to have to do alone, but you're going to have to light up to start to kind of like find your people or your helpers. So let's take a look and see what this card says. The Mentor is the teacher, the sage, and the guru. It is said that cosmic knowledge pours down on the world like a great illuminated waterfall. This can be an overwhelming force. The true teacher, though, is said to be able to hold this flow of wisdom at bay while the student sips from a focused stream. The Mentor archetype has a gift for reading the room, for sensing the exact ingredient that will stimulate growth within that student, whether pleasant or painful. The Mentor may appear aloof or available, harsh or tender, humorous or rigid. Their gift is to know what serves the soul. Ultimately, the Mentor is in service of greater cosmic good and aids in the evolution of consciousness. Anytime the Mentor forgets this humble link and mistakes themselves for the source of enlightenment, the archetype falls into the shadow. Keep in mind how easy it is to project power onto another. The expressions feet of clay and cult of personality exist for a reason. Okay, and that's interesting. Then the other side says, although it's typically true that parents are the initial teachers, the child will eventually seek a mentor figure outside of the home to assist their growth. It says, when light, it's focused, clear, bright, and remains a student. When dark, it's self-serving, envious of youth, righteous and rigid. Go deep, the riddles of Zen masters and their students. So, okay, so I interpret this a few ways. One, which is maybe you are somebody who is actually in a position, maybe you're watching this, maybe you are a healer, a teacher, maybe you are a boss, you have multiple people that, are underneath you. And there's something about it that's really, where it's like your job. It really, if you're looking at it from the perspective of you are the mentor, I feel like the message is really, stay in flow, not in your ego. Meaning, it's like you've got this owl whose like wings are out and it's there, it's hovering, it's protecting. Your job is to know what it is that your student needs. It's not forcing them to be in one place or the other. It's really allowing them, you're guiding them, you're shepherding them. Because when you feel as though it's like, oh, you need to know this or you need to know that, and or it's like, oh, well, look at how great I am. You can't be taking care of somebody else when you're in this position, right? So it's really just being aware of those. And then I think if you're looking at this from a card of specifically like what can, if this is just for you in the everyday, I think it really is that of knowing what it is that like you need, of mentoring yourself, of parenting yourself. What is it that you need and how do you need it? What is it that you can do to better take care of yourself? And really knowing, again, it's like when birds fly, they fly like this, and knowing how is it that you want to navigate through? What is too much? Nobody knows but you, right? It's knowing what is too much for the, what did it say, of like knowing how much to offer the student. Student sips from a focused stream. So, even if there's a recent podcast episode that I have out that's called the spiritual grab bag. And so if this resonates with you, I encourage you to go back and listen to that, because it's that same idea of, if you want to be on the focus stream, you don't, if you're the mentor and you're up here, you can see everything. You see how big it is. But when you try to take the next step from the place where you see everything, that's not a good place to be, because you want to be able to kind of come in and out of that space. When you're only up here, it's too overwhelming. So sometimes you have to force yourself to be the student and kind of come down for a landing. And what is that next sip that you need to take? I felt like this card was connected. I'm going to take a look at it really quick, but I feel like that's it. I feel like that feels really good. So let me see if I can find this page really quick. And if not, this is when I wish I was doing these live so that you guys could ask some questions or tell me kind of how it's resonating with you. I think it's interesting that I can't find this one too. I'm like, what does that mean? Finding all these other ones. Okay, yeah. I think I'm going to leave it there. I can't find it, and I'm just going to take that as a note of like I said, these cards are pretty intense already, and I think it's interesting that it's very similar, like I said, to the latest podcast episode as well. So these can kind of go hand in hand, and maybe I'll study on this card and do something else with it. But that's what I got for you. I hope you guys are doing well. Leave me some comments. Let me know. Is it resonating? How are you feeling? Where are you at in this kind of space that you are going through and navigating? Stay in it. Stay light. Love you, mean it.